How's it going, guys? I just wanted to make a quick video. I got a question on kind of like how do I master and how do I how do I like get stuff ready basically for iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, if anyone uses that anymore. Let me squeeze this over so this is all on one screen. I have dual screens, that's why it looked a little stretched out there. So, yeah, this is a song I'm working on for one of my artists, Carolina Brasi, and I just mastered it yesterday, and it's pretty. Right now, it's ready for Spotify or Apple Music or whatever. I'm just waiting for artist approval on it, make sure that he likes it and his label likes it, and so then it'll be ready for Apple Music and Spotify. I only have my output on here. This is pretty much my whole all my inputs and stuff, but I'm gonna get rid of those and only show you my stereo output, which is right here. So this is basically the last thing the audio hits before it hits your speakers. When you bounce it out, this is kind of the glue that makes the song tight, makes the song loud, and makes it sound like it's supposed to sound. And so what you put on here is really, really important, and how much of what you put on there is really important. I've gotten some sessions from some guys who have like mixed their own stuff and tried to master their own stuff, and there's I saw one where there was 10 plugins right here on the output, the master output, the stereo out, and that's just doing way too much. It added way too much color. He had some crappy speakers, so he was trying to compensate for that, and he was adding too much low end. So when I put it in my room, in my studio, I have a sub, so it was like really popping the sub really hard because he had boosted so much low end in his song. So what you put on here is super, super important. There's two things you should have. Well, I shouldn't say you should. This isn't a how to master video. This is how I've mastered this song. There's a million different ways to master. There's hundreds of plugins you can use to master. These are just a few that I chose to use for this song because that's what this song needed. But yeah, there's a bunch of different ways you can go about doing this. And I'm just going to show you how I did it for this song, and hopefully this helps you and gives you an idea of maybe what you need to do for one of your songs. And so, two big things I put in all of my stereo out mix buses is compression and limiter. So this first one is the SSL, the Solid State Logic Master Bus Compressor. This plugin right here is probably on 80% of the songs you hear on the radio. This is a really great plugin. It's modeled after the old SSL Master Bus compressors that were used for every single album that probably ever made. And I really love, I'm not a fan of presets, honestly. I make my own presets, but this mastering preset is actually a really good preset. And I'll kind of show you, see, the only thing that moved was my threshold. So I'll push it back to where I'm at. But yeah, so I'll walk you through this. My threshold right now is at 8.9. My attack is at 3 milliseconds. The release is set to auto. I'm at a 4-to-1 ratio. The rate is at 1. And I have 3 dBs of makeup gain, just to kind of add a little bit of boost, because when it compresses down, it compresses the signal, and it makes it a little bit quieter. So this is just to add a little bit of volume. I'll show you, let's see, where's the that mastering? Yeah, so the only thing that's different between mine and that one is that one's at 8 and mine is at 8.9. So I have 0.9 more on the threshold, plus 0.9 more. And I'll show you the reason why I do that. The reason why I do that is so you don't want to go really far above this 4. You want to hover around this 4 right here. You don't want to compress a bunch, because you'll be able to know that like right off the bat when someone goes to listen to your song. They're gonna be like, "Whoa, this is really compressed. It sounds like muffled, and it just doesn't sound live, and it doesn't sound good." So you want to hover around this 4. That's like the sweet spot, especially for this compressor. If you're using the Waves SSL compressor, I would not go too far above 4. Between 0 and 4, maybe 4.5 or 5 is a sweet spot. So I'll play the hook, and you can see where how far I go. So you can see the a few times when that kick hits, it goes above the 4 to about maybe 4.5 or 5, but that's about it. So yeah, that's the first compressor. Next, I do a linear phase EQ. The cool thing about a linear phase EQ is it doesn't add color to your mix. So sometimes when you boost the high end or you boost the low end, it adds a little bit of color and makes things a little bit different than how you want it to sound. A linear phase EQ just boosts the high end or just boosts where you tell it to boost without it adding color to your mix. So I'm boosting the low end. My low end was pretty shallow in this song, so I'm boosting at 2.8 at 60. Well, let me put that back. Yeah, it was 2.8 at 60. And then I have kind of this bell curve right here on the high end just to make those hi-hats and other shimmery things stand out. My mid-range vocals sounded great, and so I didn't feel like I needed to boost it or take away anything from that. It was just I needed a little bit of high end and I needed some low end, and that was it. Yeah, and then I'm taking back 4 dBs of gain because since I made the high end and the low end louder by boosting it, I need to take some away so that way I'm not peaking out. Next thing is Slate Digital. Those first 2 plugins I used were both Waves plugins. This one is a Slate Digital plugin. If you're not familiar with them, you should be. There's some great plugins, and they look super cool. But I have this preset that I made called Mastering, and all it is these 2 Revival and an FG401, which is a compressor. It's a VCA compressor. And yeah, the Revival just adds a little bit of shimmery high end and a little bit of thickness low end in your mix. So right now I'm just at 4.40 and 8.12. So it just adds a little bit, not a lot, not even enough to really tell that much a difference if you're not listening to it on a good set of speakers. But as soon as you take it to your car, or if you're listening to it on some good studio monitors, you'll be able to notice that, like, oh wow, those hi-hats are standing out, and that kick is like punching me in the chest, which is kind of what you want, what I wanted for this song at least. I mean, for a jazz style tune, you're not going to want something like that. But for something like this, for trap music, what I'm working on, this plugin right here is perfect. I think I've put this plugin on almost every song so far on this album that I'm working on. And then the second one here is the FG401. It's just another compressor. Yeah, it's 4-to-1 with a 5 millisecond release time or 5 millisecond attack time and a 3 millisecond release time. Again, I'm taking back about 2 dB of makeup gain, and then my mix is at 100 and my threshold's at negative 6.1. Again, it's not doing a lot. You'll see, I'll play this real quick. You'll see it won't go too far past 5. Between 3 and 5 is kind of where it will hang out. You'll see the Revival just peak out, and that's an okay thing. You kind of want that to happen. But yeah, so I'll play it for you. So yeah, the compressor's barely doing anything, and I think what's key here, since I'm running 2 compressors, I would rather, compress a little here and compress a little here and compress a little here and instead of doing one heavy compression. I think doing little amounts over 3-4 compressors, because I only have 2 on my master bus, but I think I have 2 on my on my vocals. Yeah, I'm running the SSL channel, which that has a compressor right here,
and then I'm also running the CLA2A, which is a compressor. So just between my vocals, I have technically four compressors that are compressing those down, but they're only compressing a tiny little bit over the course of those four compressors. Next on my master bus is the last one, and this one's probably the most important thing for your if you're mastering, and that is a limiter. So the two things I put on almost every single mastering thing I work with is a compressor and a limiter. And this limiter is Waves L1 Ultra Maximizer. And the idea is you set where you want your song to basically max out at. And I want my songs usually to max out around -5 and -3. And so you set that, and then you basically just work this. Here, I'll reset it. You just work it until actually sounds good right there. You just kind of get it until it's loud enough for you. It's not distorting. You can tell if I were to play it distorts and gets crazy loud. Sorry if that got loud in your speakers. But yeah, I think that the this L1 is probably one of the better limiters that I have. I have, I believe the other one that I use, let's see, I have a mastering. There's another one that I use that's also an EQ. And I think that is, I think it's the L3. Yeah, this one's not an EQ, but this is the other one that I use. I think this one was a little bit cheaper. But yeah, same idea. You set your output ceiling, and then you set your threshold to wherever you want it to go. And it does the same thing as this one. I just like the way this one sounded for this track. So yeah, that's my mastering signal. That's my mastering bus. That's what I do. I hope this helped you guys. If you have any questions, you can shoot me an email or visit my website at zlolly.com. Yeah, I'm currently booking sessions for this summer and this next fall. So if you're interested in having me mix, master, or record one of your songs, your singles, your album, an EP, whatever it is, let me know. Shoot me an email, visit my website, and we can start talking. And yeah, I'd love to work with you. Yeah, I hope you guys got something out of this, and I will catch you guys later.